sense organs are subtler than the body. Here's my chart. Here's where my chart came from, okay? I didn't cook up the chart. The chart is just a picture, a graphic representation of this verse and other verses throughout Vedanta. The sense organs are subtler than the body, i.e., the body is these 5 elements: air, fire, water, earth. That's called the body. The body's just 5 elements. And subtler than the 5 elements are what? The senses. The senses are what? Make it possible for a consciousness or awareness to know the body and the 5 elements. So this is, Then what? The mind is subtler than the sense organs. You see we have the mind up here? So the sense organs are known by the mind. It's a subtler dimension of awareness. We're getting closer and closer up to pure awareness here. The intellect is subtler than the mind. That's why we got the eye up here and not here. Everybody's trying to heal themselves emotionally without healing their thinking. Never works. The emotions are downline from the intellect. All these emotional problems come because you got wrong ideas. Your idea about life is wrong. And therefore what? You have emotional disturbance. Because there's the powers here in the intellect. If there's wrong knowledge, you're going to be disturbed. If there's right knowledge, you won't. Your emotions will be beautiful. They'll be in harmony with reality. Because as we get closer and closer to the self, this is where the power comes from. And then what? And the self is subtler than the intellect. In other words, it's known, the intellect is known by awareness. Know that which is beyond the intellect, steady your emotions and destroy the hidden enemy. Now this is what we call the practice of knowledge, standing as awareness. Start functioning from this. Now how do you do that? With the knowledge I'm awareness. You already are this. But you're going to have to steady the emotions and the mind and the intellect with that knowledge. He's giving him what? Jnana Yoga along with Karma Yoga now. You can practice them both. It's okay. Practice them means understand. If you take this position, taking a stand in awareness as awareness, or Swami Dayananda says, faking it till you make it. Why is it faking? Well, it's not really faking, but you believe that you're what? Limited and small and inadequate and incomplete. That's what you believe. And so to say that you're the self and that you're whole and complete, that seems like a total fraud, makes you a total fraud, doesn't it? That just seems so dishonest. Because I don't feel like that. I don't feel like I'm pure and perfect and whole and complete and beautiful. I don't feel that way, so that's a lie. That's a lie to say that I'm whole and complete and beautiful and pure and perfect, isn't it? Huh? Why is it a lie? Because you believe your feelings. That's why it's a lie. Your feelings, how you feel, is not to be believed. How you feel is the most ridiculous basis for anything. Huh? Don't go by how you feel. Huh? This is what we're saying. Feelings are totally unreliable. One minute you feel great, and the next minute you feel rotten. Okay, then who are you? Are you the one that feels great, or are you the one that feels rotten? Because you can't be both, can you? You're not real if you're one person one minute and you're another person another minute. How do I know? How do you know who you are? How do I know who you are? So on the basis of how you feel about yourself, that's the worst basis you could ever hope for to live your life. Yet what? That's exactly how we live our life, isn't it? On the basis of how I feel about myself. He's saying, don't live on the basis of these feelings about who you are. Live on the basis of the fact. There has to be a cognitive shift here. That, yeah? What Vedanta is trying to do is introduce what? A cognitive shift here in your thinking. Because this is at the highest stage. This is where the problem is, in the intellect. And we've got to get you to think differently about yourself, to look at yourself differently from a different point of view, and get that thought operating here before you can transform this chakra, this samsara chakra. If you just keep believing the tired old notion that there's something wrong with you, it's not going to work. And then you sit around hoping for some big experience that's going to erase that sense of incompleteness. Hoping you'll meet the right guru who's going to transmit the moksha into your brain, or whatever. You know, or get your kundalini started so you can explode out of this and merge with consciousness and feel a permanent cosmic orgasm or something. No. Those are all fantasies of the ego that what? Refuses to accept the knowledge that it's okay. No one can do this but yourself. See, this is why faith in the scriptures is considered to be the #1 qualification. If you actually have shraddha, or faith in the words of this teaching, then you what? You know it's going to work. It's definitely going to work because this is the truth. You're taking a stand in the truth. What you feel is not the truth. What you feel is just the result of your vasanas and your karma. Your experience, in other words. Your experience, your feelings, that's just a product of what? Your vasanas and your karma, which is what? Caused by ignorance. So you can't trust your feelings and your experience. I know, it sounds ridiculous. It sounds wrong, doesn't it? The ego just doesn't like that. What? All this stuff, I've got to like throw this whole thing out about what I feel and think and start operating from a different platform? Geez, I don't know. That's pretty scary. I better hang on to the, you know. Huh? I have a friend, you know, well, he's dead now, but I was hectoring him about his rotten life. He had a lousy life. Kept making the wrong decisions. He had psychological problems. And I loved him a lot, and we were good friends, but I kept hectoring him. And said, come on, Michael, clean up your act. You got to do this. I'm one of these positive people. You know, you'll hate me after a while, because I'm always encouraging you to go, you can do it, go. I'm like a cheerleader, you know. Nothing more disgusting than people like that. They won't leave you alone, you know. They always want you to improve and be better, and yes, you can do it. So I'm hectoring this guy, and he listens to me because he loves me and he's a friend. And then when I got done, he looked at me and he said, well, Jim, it may be shit, but it's warm and it's mine. Yeah, that's right. Hey, we just love our shit. We just love thinking there's something wrong with us. We're little victims here. You know, what are you going to do when somebody calls you on the phone if he's, oh, I'm holding complete access and non-dual awareness? Well, they're going to hang up the phone. They want to hear about all your miseries and suffering and all your problems and so forth, isn't it? Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. Because that's the only identity I've got. Huh? But hey, that doesn't work anymore. So I've got to what? He says, no, use this knowledge, know that which is beyond the intellect, i.e., that I'm whole and complete. Steady your emotions and destroy this hidden enemy. And that means just daily, moment to moment, hour by hour, looking at yourself and not going with this ego desire-oriented thing. Unless those desires of the ego are noble and high and virtuous desires that will what? Integrate and harmonize the mind. Those sattvic desires, we're saying go for those. Convert these emotions into devotion. We call that bhakti. Bhakti means taking your emotions, the thing that where you got all your love in these objects, and converting that into devotion for what? The truth.